Well, hello there, YouTubers. It is I, the big, and I do mean big, and I dare say big D, coming to you live and in person with another fun-filled, fact-filled video. Just putting it out there for you all, free of charge. That's right. No free. We don't charge here. And I keep getting comments because I talk about, like, for instance, putting your house in your spouse's name, things of that nature. I keep getting this comment, and I'm going to get into this, but before I do, subscribe to this channel. Like the channel. Give it a thumbs up. Big loser, give it a thumbs down. Leave comments. I don't care. You know, I really don't. So, that being said, if you get an S Corp, a C Corp, an LLC, and I'll explain to you basically what that means here in a second, are your assets protected? Well, get it in Nevada. You're protected. And that is the biggest falsity out there. And I'm going to tell you why here in a minute. You see, S Corp, C Corp, LLC, sole proprietor. Sole proprietor is basically you're under your name. Okay, that's all it means. You know, you could be Joe Blow, DBA Joe Blow, Expediting. There you go. Simplest one to get into. Sole proprietorship. S Corp, C Corps, limited liability, LLC. That's what that stands for. These are structures of corporations. Now, first of all, I have to explain something to you in the legal aspect of it. A lot of you don't know that I did go to law school. Yeah. That's why I talk about this so much and get into it and try to explain. That's why I was a guest speaker at the expo. I've spoken twice at expos. And I went into this in one, and I'm going to explain to you why you may not be. You see, you can go to Legal Shield now. A lot of people, I recommend them. They do a good job. I mean, hey, if you're going to go do it, don't do it yourself. I tell people all the time, only a fool will do their own incorporation, stuff of that nature. Go do it yourself. All right, don't do it yourself. Go to, I'm clicking something on my computer. Legal Shield, or get yourself a good attorney, corporate attorney, and use them to do it because you want to make sure it's done right. That's right. Now, why would you not be an S Corp, a C Corp, or LLC? What is the difference? Mainly taxes, for the most part, besides of the corporation taxes. Now, that being said, once you have put yourself into that structure, a corporate structure, realize by law, you cannot represent yourself in a court of law. A sole proprietor can, an LLC, S Corp, C Corp cannot, because it's a sole entity to itself. That's how your assets are technically protected. What that's known as is your corporate veil. Look it up. It's called a corporate veil. Now, this is where the misunderstanding comes in. And I'll try to make it as easy as for you as possible without getting into big legal terminology and things of that nature that will confuse you. And, you know, like I said, you know, an attorney, and when they write so you'll never understand it. It takes someone who actually went to law school to be able to read the damn thing. And it's basically a bunch of mumbo jumbo to confuse you. Keeps attorneys employed. That's right. It's all intentional. But you take places like Ford, GM, Chrysler, GE, Tesla, all these people have corporate attorneys on retainer. What does that mean? They have people they pay to represent them at all times. Well, that's for all those lawsuits from people who buy their cars and blah, blah, skippy. No, it's not. That's not why they're paying them people and hold them on the retainer. They're doing that to protect the board, the CEO, the CFO, and all the board members. That's who that's for. Why do they need protection? And this is where the technicalities come in. You see, Joe Blow Trucking got their LLC or their S Corp. And they ran for a couple years. They did their taxes, corporate taxes. They did them. No biggie. And there's an accident. And I'm representing the defendant, and I'm going to go after your assets, your personal, because you're saying your company has none. Well, I am an LLC, an S Corp, or C Corp. You can't touch them. Really? Well, watch me. And here's how it's done. I'm going to subpoena your corporate records. That's right. You've heard of the board meetings, the meetings of the shareholders, the corporate minutes, all those little terms you've heard thrown around out there. I'm going to subpoena them. And I'm going to go into the courtroom and say, Your Honor, I want his corporate records for the last 6 years. From day one, he's been incorporated. I want all of them. Well, I never kept them. Really? Did you have a board meeting or anything? No. Your Honor, I'd like the corporate veil lifted at this time. They never acted as a corporation, therefore they do not hold the protection of a corporation. So ordered. Your corporate veil just went poof, gone. That's right. Poof, it's gone. Your assets are now in play just because you didn't do some paperwork. That's right. Legal entities have rules they have to play by. And when you get your Legal Shield stuff, you'll get shares and stuff. All that stuff comes with it. And you sign the name on stuff, and when you are required to quarterly have meetings, keep records. That's right. I mean, if it's just you and your wife, let's say, or just you, sit down and say, hey, videotape it. Put it on a flash drive. That'll work. In a court, it shows you had the meetings. You go over your sales, your numbers, profit, loss, blah, blah, Skippy. Look up those rules that you have to play by and say, okay, well, I got to play by these rules. I probably should learn them and do it. Now, here's another little thing you don't know. All corporate veils can be broken. There isn't a foolproof veil that can't be broken. You throw enough money at it, you can break GMs. Unfortunately, you don't have that money, and they know it. So they'll bury you in paperwork. That's a term used, bury you in paperwork. In other words, run your costs so high you can't afford to continue. If you won, you would still lose. It's intentional. This is all done to make this difficult for you to attack them. You have to learn what your requirements are for your type of corporation, what you have to do. If you're operating in Ohio and incorporated in Nevada, you better learn what both states want and do both. That's right. I'd make sure I covered both ends. I want to make sure I do what they want and Ohio, so you can do them together, by the way, just so you know. The Ohio requires, you have to keep it in writing. Nevada says you don't. Keep it in writing and do a tape both. That's all. Take notes as you're doing it. Write it down because Ohio may require that. If they do, then you have it. These are the little steps. So when you go into a courtroom, you've covered your derriere. Because if you don't, you've heard that term, legal loopholes. Well, there's one right there that you don't know about. And a good attorney will exploit it and take away your property. How do you prevent that? Well, if you have a house, a big asset, put it in your spouse's name. There you go. You are the company. She's not. You're Joe Blow. She's not involved. The house is hers. They can't attach to her asset. Why? It may be a marital asset, but it's not a corporate asset. But you just said they could break the veil. Right. And they can take your asset. But the deed is in her name, or the mortgage is in her name. If it is, technically, you don't own it. Now, in Ohio, she can't sell it without your permission or anything of that nature. But you can't grab it. I have a $300,000 home almost paid for. I'm going to hang on to that. I got my RV out there. And I heard the comment the other day that I sold my van. Well, that's funny. It's in my driveway. Wait a second. Oh, the keys are at home. All right, let's say I still have the keys to it. I just got it out of the shop when I went, had it looked over and checked up. Keep your vehicles in good working order. Mine went in for a week. The mechanic went over it, came back with a clean bill of health. There is nothing wrong with the van. I still have the van. So for those people out there telling you that I've done this and that and everything else, you know, I want to make sure I've done it because I still have it. And I can go to my house tonight and do a video of it if you really want to see it. I need to clean it out some more too. I got a bunch of stuff in there for my eBay business that everybody seems to laugh at, but I'm making lots of money on. I'm getting together to, you know, send stuff out tonight. So, but in corporate structures, learn the requirements to keep it. Don't want to get sidetracked here on vans. Learn what's required for you to maintain your corporate structure, your corporate veil, and do it. If you don't, well, in court, a good corporate attorney will take it. And this is Big D saying, know all the facts. Don't believe me, research it yourself. I don't mind. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you check out what I tell you. You know, so that being said, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to be doing some more videos on these type of issues. Things to look for when you go to buy a van, things you should be looking at, areas you need to check. I highly recommend you take it to a mechanic and have them look at it. It was $107 to have mine go over with tax and everything. $100, 7% sales tax, $107. So I know it's in good shape because they checked everything out. So I paid $107 to make sure my van is in good working order. You should too. It's Big D saying, don't get caught with your pants down. Learn what those structures mean. Learn what you're required to do to maintain it and do it. Keep those records. If you don't, it can bite you in the butt. That's why all your big companies out there are keeping those records, having people maintain it, and keeping it in files. In case they're ever attacked, they have it. You'll notice if you buy stock in a company, you'll get a shareholders meeting paperwork. You'll get that. That's what that's for. In case you were ever wondering, keep your corporate structure intact. That's all it's for. Big D saying, don't get caught with your pants on the ground. Pants on the ground. Don't look like those other fools out there who are jabberjawing with their pants on the ground. Later.